I have sickle cell anemia. Do-do-do-do-do-da-da. Haha, there it is. Just a little Onision outro jingle for all of you who might recognize it. For those of you who don't, then tough luck, bucko. I can't play it here because Onision has been falsely claiming videos that people make on him even faster than I scroll when someone retweets NSFW art onto my timeline in public. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to Onision Entitled Part 3, Kwite realizes he has a rare blood disease. And you might be wondering why it's been so long since my last one. Like, what is it good old Greg has been up to as of recent that's brought me back into the territory of Onision Smells videos? Has something big been happening that warrants me crawling out of my turtle shell that was brutally grafted to my skin like a piece of cheese to a tuna sandwich? Well, I mean, there was all that false copyright claiming stuff I glazed over like a donut about earlier, but that's not really what this video is about. It's actually a way less important topic than that. You guys all know who FPS Diesel is, I assume. He's my friend, bald, pushing 40, and he's one of the co-hosts of my podcast, Loudmouse, which you can find on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. This plug comes with no shame attached. Well, Diesel also recently has stepped his foot back into the ring of Onision Entitled. And Diesel also has this fun little pastime of poking fun at Onision on Twitter, quote tweeting his tweets, and just generally clowning on him. So his making of a video on him isn't as ham-fisted of an attempt to get views as mine. He has precedent to do so. But he returned to the fold with a video entitled Onision Wants to Ruin YouTube, where he actually covers some of that false copyright striking / claiming fiasco he has going on. I don't know if it was striking or claiming that he was doing, I'm sorry. And you might be wondering what it is in the first place that could possibly compel Onision to such drastic action that he's willing to go so far as to do something that risks his channel getting JFK'd just to get a video on him taken down. I mean, other than him being a fucking idiot. Well, it's about what you'd expect. It's the exact same thing as usual. Onision doesn't like when people say epic mean things about him. We all knew this, and there's a lot of people who do it. I'm one of them because it's fun. And trust me, there's no shortage of people who are into consuming that kind of content. I'm one of them. If you're watching this video, you're probably one of them too. But if you want to get an idea of the real effectiveness of this kind of thing, let me ask y'all, do you remember someone with a channel by the name of Mr. Repsion? Mr. Repsion has been on this godforsaken video sharing conglomerate since before the invention of Twitch. And he really had his heyday all those years ago. That's when he was at his peak of his growth and all that stuff, but for a span of years, he was kind of in a dry spot where it seemed like he was stuck at around 500,000 subs perpetually. Well, that all changed a few months ago when something magical happened. And he started making videos on Onision pretty much full time. He started doing this and his views absolutely skyrocketed. His Onision videos reliably pulled hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views. His subscribers jumped up like a baby getting rocketed off a trampoline, and Mr. Repsion sure as hell noticed that trend. Like 13 of his last 20 videos he posted are all about Onision. Good grief, it's great. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this to just shit on Mr. Repsion. I don't really have a problem with him doing it, and being able to revive a channel the way he did I think is incredibly impressive. It's just hilarious how solid the science is with making Onision videos. Onision Entitled, a thumbnail, 2 billion views. There's such a large audience of people that are strictly dedicated to not watching Onision's videos themselves, but instead solely watching videos that verbally slap him upside the head. And I can't lie, I understand the appeal. It's very fun. But back to the topic of FPS Diesel and Onision and all that hoopla. Yeah, Diesel talked about the copyright stuff, and he did some light roasting, like talking about when Onision killed his pet turtle.
In fact, there's a hilarious time that he threw a turtle of his in a recycling bin, and that turtle, it didn't do the alive anymore.
Now, of course, that was all good fun, but none of that admittedly comedy gold trademark stuff was the main thing to come out of this. No, the big thing was that FPS Diesel officially challenged Greg Onision Heffley to a goddamn boxing match.
In the meantime, yeah, Onision's been doing that. And as a result of that, I have finally come out and said that I am willing to box Onision.
Yes! Fucking beat his ass, Diesel! TKO that motherfucker good! I may now reveal that the main purpose of this video is to signal boost the challenge and not much else. Box FPS Diesel, Onision, it'll be fun! Now obviously, YouTubers calling out other YouTubers to box might seem like a trend of yesteryear that has since fallen out of style. And this also very well may have been a futile attempt to set up what would have likely been an incredibly entertaining event for all who hold disdain for the Onion Man, aka the general population of the earth. And nothing likely would have come of the challenge outside of the video Diesel said in it if it weren't for the fact that Onision responded to it. Now of course, this wasn't a response in video form. That would be smart and help Onision boost himself to potential relevancy off the situation that Diesel's created for him. And the last time he made a video responding to a bunch of people who made videos on him, we all just reacted to the video he made on us and leaked some views off of it. I really appreciate you giving me that freebie topic from back then, Greg. You still have my greatest thanks from back in those days. But anyways, Onision's initial response response comes in the form of a tweet he made. Oh, sorry, not a tweet that Onision made, a tweet that EmoCharlies has made. I don't know, he's playing some character on his Twitter account right now where he talks about Onision as a separate person. I guess if it makes him happy, who cares, I guess. The doctor gave him like 3 months to live, so let him do what he wants. Scrolling through EmoCharlies' Twitter, you'll notice that for some 300,000 followers, the account is rather dead. He gets like 20 likes a tweet, and he typically has more replies than he does likes, and they're all some variation of Onision is a doo-doo head. The only real time his Twitter gets any proper activity is when Onision speaks on someone else, and then the wider world takes the opportunity to just let their leaky shits run all over him. For instance, the response tweet we're meant to be talking about already, he talks, or rather subliminals on Diesel, and it goes a little like this. If someone challenges you to a fight, it's not about whether or not you are man enough, it's about whether or not you are childish enough. Children fight, adults work it out. And yes, I know this is extremely ironic for me to say, but we know it's true. It's just really not, is it? I don't know what line is drawn for what constitutes using too much content from Gregory for him to bestow the honor of falsely copyright striking / claiming my video. So reading this tweet out loud might land me some time in gay baby YouTube jail, but the tweet itself did better than most of his. It got around 3 to 5 times the usual amounts of likes he gets and just about as many replies. We have Diesel with the snarky little, "If you don't want to box, say it to me, young man." Very proud of you on that one, Diesel. You really nailed the soccer mama aesthetic on this one. And then if we scroll down a little bit, we have the entire population of Alaska telling Onion Antonio to box at FPS Diesel. It's great solidarity we're seeing here, guys. It's the beginning of a movement is what this is. Now, if you don't understand the reason EmoCharlies here is saying that him saying not to fight because it's childish is ironic, it's because he went on a multiple part tirade to try and get Shane Dawson to box him, which didn't really work out as Shane Dawson has better things to do, unsurprisingly. I believe that's partly where Diesel got the inspiration from though, as one, it would be funny as heck, and he was surprised that no one else had tried to challenge Onision before, considering all the enemies he's made over the years. But I think we all knew it was kind of a long shot to begin with, and I guess if you're stupid, you could argue that the wording behind the tweet was kind of ambiguous and vague, that he wasn't actually responding to FPS Diesel, but rather people as a whole trying to challenge him to a fight because he's such a prime target for it. He's not, no one cares. But no, he was definitely talking about Diesel. No one else out there is actively challenging Onision to a fight right now. That's literally just Diesel. I would challenge him, but let's face it, I'm a massive pussy. And Onision's definitely seen Diesel's video talking about and calling him out, and he's responding to that. There's no question about it. And I will say this, if Onision just didn't want to box Diesel in the ring or whatever, that would have been totally fine. Don't get me wrong, I definitely would have still made fun of him for it, because let's face it, I'm a fucking scumbag, but it's like Diesel said, if you don't want to box, just say so. The funny comes from his attempts to moral high ground it, acting as if there's anything to moral high ground about in the first place, but talking about it as if the very notion of challenging someone to a fight is the behavior of a child, when he was doing the very same thing to Shane Dawson in order to get that relevancy that we all make 10 videos to try and get a hold of at the end of the day. Honestly, I would think this would probably be Onision's best chance at being able to get at that again in any form. I mean, aside from the people that just make videos on him. Sure, Diesel's a smaller channel than him, albeit a much more alive one, but two YouTubers facing off in anything, whether it being on the court or in the ring, ready to crack the other's jaw into a fine paste, is always fun and really easy to get hype around. Now, be fooled or not, this did not end or stop there. It would be too easy that way. Diesel ended up making his own video responding to Onision, indirectly calling him out, where he breaks down the juicy, gooey, and illegal to hunt during most seasons insides of Greg's tweet. And the real kicker to this whole situation is that after the last video Diesel posted, when the whole shit was really getting ready to wind down, like Diesel would probably have baited him on Twitter a little more, which is, come to think of it, probably what provoked this response in the first place. But if Greg had just weathered the storm, hell, even just used Diesel's account and his name on Twitter, this whole shebang would have gone away. But it feels like he genuinely gets off to people calling him a retroactive pussy, because 3 days after that last video, he comes out with this genius tweet. To everyone challenging Onision to a fight, the answer is no. Now go make your next 30-minute video on how much better than him you are. See, the tweet is almost fine, but then it trips on its own ego and breaks its spine, ensuring that it will never walk again. On one hand, it's him directly just saying no, which should have been his first move if he didn't want to do this, but then he still addresses it like there's a bunch of people that are still openly challenging Onision to a fight, which there still isn't. It's still just Diesel. And then he goes on to say that bit where the people challenging him have better things to do, like making their next 30-minute video about him, which TBH is more of a 2018 iNabber thing than a Diesel thing. I think you have your glasses wearing men sitting in their bedroom yelling at their camera grammars mixed up there, Greg. We multiply, and you can't get rid of us. Diesel was all, yeah, pop off Kwite in the replies for Onion plays being a hypocrite and shit, which does work very well in my opinion. I'm really proud of you for using the sister slang terms, Diesel, my guy. It's good shit. But with all that established, I think it's pretty clear why Onision doesn't want to fight Diesel. I mean, just look at the guy. He is literally the Hulk. But Onision probably doesn't feel like he has a lot to gain from fighting someone with a smaller sub count than him, but he totally does. Shit would generate mad headlines in the YouTube search algorithm party or some gay shit. And Greg, listen, if at the end of the day you really just want to focus on making good content or some shit, all beef aside, I think this would be an absolutely fantastic piece of work. And if done for charity, it could be something really good. And so there it is. I'm officially throwing my hat behind Diesel on this one. Like I said, my main purpose here today is to only signal boost the challenge that Diesel has already issued. Diesel said he'll fight any YouTuber, so if Onision says no, I'll do it. The only stipulation is that I get to bring a knife. But listen, Gregory, if you're watching this video and you've made it to this point, which let's face it, you totally have, then I implore you one last time, please box at FPS Diesel. It's for a good cause, brother. My entertainment. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe, and if you want, please turn on notifications. I'm fucking begging you. Diesel's channel will be, of course, linked in the description. Honestly, I do hope this fight happens because I think it would be a lot of fun, and Diesel's fucking huge. But overall, if something like this for charity could be good, and also just a really fun thing to watch. You know how it is. Like I said, I have a podcast with Diesel and Brandon called Loudmouse. We upload one new episode every week on Saturdays, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Kwite to find out when I go live. I've been streaming Minecraft, but I might be streaming some other stuff soon. There's this thing called the Yeti event going up. It's a 12-hour consistent stream between me and like 24 other creators where we raise money for Polar Bears International. I'll be streaming my end on that Twitch account as well, so follow that if you want. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I also have a Discord server. Link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'll see you guys next time.
Kwite!
I forgot what this was for.